So tomorrow one of your local gangs has got a big powwow and they need a payoff. See, a pensioner is holding a bunch of kids for ransom, and she's got some lawyers and a couple judges helping her out. She happens to be a pensioner from one of the subsidiaries of the big guys meeting tomorrow. They got a lot of business to discuss, and I think I'm supposed to hook up a kickback for them. But just so you know what we're working with, I had requested a motion for a new trial, and I included the various things I needed to include, including in my financial considerations connected to the case, you know, because I had to reveal some stuff so that they could start their hedging. And this is what I had started with, just so you know. 1.9% as of October 15th, 2019. I've been following it. It's been working fantastically. Not for me, though. That's kind of how it goes. Just so you know, I'm working on a big case, and I know you all want a piece of it, or you want me dead before anybody pays attention. Here's the primary documents, right? Handwritten, because I'm a little old-fashioned. I've already made the argument somewhere else. Just so you can authenticate. Now what we got here is a situation where, among the many things to consider, is the fact that one of your boys decided he was going to back up his MJ, and he was going to do it and help me deal with you, because I don't know what you're expecting, but this is what you're getting. You see that? I got all the dates of concern, including this nice little tidbit, which was completely relevant to your boy inviting me to your meeting. No, hold on a second. Oh, here we go. July 1942, two men died during an accident on the harbor quay at Bergen, Norway. The boat next went on patrol on 17 July. Now, just because I know you want a little juicy part here, just so you know, I have an ongoing investigation comparing and contrasting a couple of companies. I got 7 stock reports I'll be looking up later today. We'll see how your numbers compare with mine. You know, they're foreign companies. And just because you need to know what the bond is we're working with, especially right now. Just because I don't want you to think that I'm some novice doesn't understand the level we're at. Now there's another case of concern to you. I'll just show you the folder markings. It's a sealed indictment. It hasn't been delivered yet. But what you really want is... that's the other book I saw somewhere and ended up getting later that you won't get. So I think I'm just supposed to respite here, just so you know. I looked up your requested mediator. She did not pass my test. I'm not accepting your mediator. Okay. The affirmative defense per Texas Rule, Criminal Procedure Rule 94, is that the petitioner refused to provide the children with insurance coverage per her private health insurance and instead compelled and coerced respondent number 1 to obtain mental health diagnoses and prescription medication for children using Medicaid insurance while requesting that A, the court require respondent 1 provide medical and dental support to children during the proceeding and 2, award custody of the children to her while requiring the respondents to provide child support. 3, allege support payments previously ordered are not in substantial compliance with guidelines in Chapter 154 of the Texas Family Code. And 4, states that respondent 1 had voluntarily relinquished the primary care and possession of the children to another person for at least 6 months without taking steps to assure the children were provided with adequate support in the form of health insurance by assuring they were covered under her health insurance access, hence maintaining the substandard support herself, she alleges, against the respondent. Additionally, a part of the the petitioner demonstrates a bad faith effort in a part of proceedings and that the petitioner demonstrates a bad faith effort in moving forward on this petition. Additionally, the petitioner declares that the woman has a history of mental issues, including when she was a minor. She attempted to kill the mother and spend time in a mental facility for this. I believe she is bipolar and unable to care for my grandchildren appropriately. Direct quote. Such claim demonstrates a lack of presentation of, quote, facts as would be admissible in evidence, end quote, as the petitioner's claims regarding the respondent's alleged, quote, mental, end quote, and, quote, bipolar, end quote, issues are not substantiated with proof of diagnosis by a professional and involve information from timeframes during which the respondent was a minor and in the care of the petitioner. As such, the respondent requests the affidavit be stricken from the record and denied inclusion in a part of the proceedings, and that any reference to the respondent's juvenile records be sealed and embargoed from inclusion in any efforts to attempt to identify the competency of the respondent to care for the children. The respondent requests the court to instead consider the aforementioned items as evidence of a bad faith effort on behalf of the petitioner to file suit, as well as evidence and consideration of the petitioner's competence and capacity to provide for the children. The respondent number 1 further requests the petitioner be enjoined from contacting her in reference to respondent 2, and that any affidavit regarding, quote, personal knowledge, end quote, of respondent 1 without any equivalent and legally admissible affidavit for respondent 2 be issued and have an injunction placed upon it. Now, you know the case I'm speaking about, right? You want some confidentiality here. Oh, the rules that were of consideration here had to do with 199.6, hearing on objections. At any reasonable time, request a hearing on an objection or privilege asserted by an instruction. A party seeking to avoid discovery must present any evidence necessary to support the objection or privilege, either by testimony at hearing or by affidavit served at least 7 days before the hearing. As I've just stated, there was no affidavit equivalent to the one that she was illegally allowed to be permitted to enter that was obtained. Now, the problem with this is that it's another one of these situations where what you appear to be doing in the course of torturing a woman using her children is really hooking up kickbacks for a later date. And it just so happens this woman is a petitioner with a company that is listed as one of the companies that I will be having a webinar in connection to tomorrow. I absolutely believe this woman's mother knew exactly what she was doing when she was tormenting her daughter and trying to obtain custody of her children at that time. This woman had three young boys. Three. And I won't tell you the date because you already know. And at that time, an announcement had been made for a triad of consideration at a very high level that a pensioner at a gas and oil interest in Texas, especially one that may have some other family portfolio interest in the meeting tomorrow, might think she would try to avail herself of an opportunity in what would be pretty much 6 months, 9 months before today, to get custody of the triad and blame it on the fact that her daughter had a birth certificate from another country and hence wasn't a citizen in the way that would otherwise be expected. Because that's what this case is about, right? So don't insult my intelligence. Again,